Welcome along to our coffee morning. It is Sunday the 14th of March. It's Mother's Day. I hope you guys have been spoiled.
No, not yet.
No.
Not yet.
No. Well, thankfully, the kids made Mother's Day cards at nursery and that, so bit of flowers.
Oh, lovely.
Well done. And today I wanted to chat about goal setting and goal setting versus system formatting, okay, and how we can help with our happiness and how we can help focus on it, okay. Cool. So first, guys, tell me a win from this week. Let's get ourselves buzzed. Let's get ourselves hyped. Let's start feeling a little bit of praise about ourselves. Tell me a win for this week, guys. Should I start?
Yeah.
I had a really good day yesterday. A win for me yesterday, okay, it was being really present with my kids all day. I managed to put my phone to one side. I actually lost it, put it to the side, and keep it away all day. Because I said to myself in the morning, like, I want to spend on the weekends good time with the kids, but it's really easy to be distracted. So if I were to coach myself through this, I was like, right, just put your phone away, out of the way, no distractions. And I had a really good day with the kids yesterday. We did some jiu-jitsu with Rupert. You know, so that was a really nice win for myself. Go.
Me with you on Thursday, no, on Wednesday in the gym, doing what I did. Absolutely amazing. I felt so good after. It just unbelievable. And that's just made me feel so good.
Good. What about you, Carol?
Well, I feel so much fitter already, and I managed a 10.5-mile walk yesterday.
Nice.
And I
Lovely.
ran and walked the first 2 miles.
Nice. Good work.
That's lovely.
Really good. It's those life things that I love seeing, you know, the things that can impact our life, why we do the training, and then the impact that we see on top of that then, which is nice, which is good. The outside life, you know, you enjoy that time. Nice. Bit of sunshine here yesterday on and off, so hopefully it wasn't too bad. This is good. Right then, let's get going with some goal setting versus system following. It is examples of habit formation, okay? Now, what I want to talk to you today, okay, is I said goal setting isn't necessarily, why it's not necessarily the thing that is the most important thing, okay? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, let's have a look at the Olympics. Let's have a look at everyone doing the 100 meters. Everyone who competes there wants to win the world championship. That's their goal, isn't it? To win the Olympic gold medal. So everyone in the team and everyone in that event has the same goal. But why does only one person achieve that? It's not the goal that's necessary, it's the habits and the systems that one person does to win that gold medal, okay? So, for example, a really good example of this is the British cycling team, okay? In 2012, they won 65% of gold medals available. 2016, they won even more. They really set the precedence. Now, what they did was rather than just looking at our goal, we want to win a gold medal, they started looking at the little systems they have for everything. For example, they started to look into best techniques to wash your hands to prevent colds, for allow the cyclists to train for longer periods without fighting off illnesses. They went into this much detail. They went into the 1% details. They actually painted their transport truck white because they wanted to see any dust that may affect the bike's performance. They were that meticulous with this. Okay, they went into like what muscle gels were the best for recovery. They went into what type of nutrition. Like they literally looked at absolutely everything approach, everything on the bike, everything to do with the athlete. They looked at the 1% in everything, and the habits and the systems that they used for that, which then showed precedence in the ongoing events. And in like the World Championships, I think they won like 173 World Championships over the last like 10, 12 years. Like the first person was Bradley Wiggins to win the Tour de France, and then it was that other dude, the Welsh guy, wasn't it? Who won the Tour de France. You know, like the cycling in British in the elite for Britain is getting so much better because they're focusing on the little systems and little habits. They all have the same goal. Like, for example, we want to lose weight, we want to get fitter. Loads of people want to lose weight. Loads of people want to get fitter. The goal's there, but what's the difference between one person achieving it and one person not achieving it? It's following the right habitual systems that go from that, okay? Okay, for example, okay? Now, when we're doing things, okay, for example, like, you know, if you had an ice cube, I'm gonna put an ice cube on your table right now, okay? And it was -6. I put the temperature up to -5, -4, -3. The ice cube's still there. -2, ice cube still there. -1, ice cube still there. 0, still there. 1 degrees, ice cube starts to melt. Okay, so we see nothing happening to the ice cube in the -6, the -5, the -4, the -3, -2, -1, 0. We see nothing change in that ice cube. But that 1 degree, all of a sudden we have all the change. Okay. Now, would you agree that the -5, the -6, -4, -3, -2 had an effect on the ice cube?
No.
Do you not think that the build-up and the anticipation on that ice cube, and then we seen the final bit of results in that -1? Let's say another example. Let's say you go over to let's go mining, for example, and you see someone with a hammer and he's trying to break the rock. And he's hitting it 100 times. Bam, bam, bam. 101, rock breaks.
Mm.
Do you think it was just the 101 that broke the rock? Or it was the whole of the 100 leading up to that one moment to when that rock broke? Another example, tectonic plates. Okay? They can spend millions of years pushing up against each other, slowly applying pressure. And then one day, the same pressure happens, and all of a sudden we have a slip in the tectonic plates, which will come out as an earthquake. It's not one day the tectonic plates decide to give off all this energy. It's the millions of years building up that pressure, okay? And it's the same for what we do when it comes to losing weight, getting fitter, whatever goals we want to achieve. We need to look at the daily things that we need to do to get that end result that we want. Okay, we need to become that person that wants to achieve that goal. Okay, another example. I'm going to use lots of examples today, okay? Let's look at a smoker. Okay, have either of you two smoked before?
No.
No, okay. I used to smoke back in the day, back when I was a kid. And when I came to quitting, okay, I was like, would you like a fag? If I said to you guys, would you like a cigarette? What would you say to me?
No.
No.
No, I'm not a smoker. No, I am not a smoker. My beliefs, I am not a smoker. Go up to a smoker who's quitting. Would you like a cigarette? No, it's okay, I'm trying to quit. Their beliefs are still that they are a smoker and they're trying to quit. Now, you can get behavioral changes like that. I'm not going to have a cigarette right now. I'm trying to cut down. I'm not going to have a cigarette right now. Compared to the belief of I'm not a smoker. Now, you can change the behavior. You can change the behavior by following a diet plan, let's say. You're going to follow it for 4 weeks. I change the behavior. I get a little bit of a result. But what happens is I don't change the person or the belief. And all of a sudden, we fall back into the way we were before. So, you know, we get you to fill in the food diaries. It's to start looking at what habits we've got around food.
Yeah.
And looking at what habits we've got, to what habits we could potentially create or re-establish to allow us to get better results. So like getting to fill in the food diary is the first habit. Fill that in, we fill that in, we fill that in, we build that habit, because that's a habit that we can easily build upon because we're not actually changing anything. The habit is literally just writing down information. The hard work comes when we start changing these habits. Like if you eat, let's say you eat cake every morning for breakfast. That's a habit that we need to change. But first of all, we need to recognize the habit for filling in the food diary. Okay. Now, when it comes to in the one decision, for example, like, oh, it's okay, I'm going out tonight, I'm going to have a drink. I'll get back on the diet tomorrow. Or actually, I'm not going to do that work today. I'll do that work tomorrow. Or actually, do you know what? I won't tidy up the kitchen today. I'll do it tomorrow. Now, if I were to say that once and did the action the next day and didn't follow through, that would be fine. You know, you can find time to clean the kitchen up tomorrow. You can find the time to do more work tomorrow. You probably could catch up with your diet tomorrow. The issue is, if tomorrow comes, you say, I'll tidy up the kitchen tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll do the diet tomorrow. So all of a sudden, that one decision becomes 2 decisions, becomes 3 decisions, becomes 4. That's a habit that we're formulating. And what happens every time we formulate a habit in our brain, we build up a neural pathway which makes it easier to follow. So, for example, when you're learning a squat movement, it's not necessarily you can't do it. You haven't learned the neural pathway to do that squat yet. And you do that once, you do it twice, you do it 3 times. After 10,000 times, that neural pathway will be formulated. Now, they did an experiment in monkeys, okay? What they did, 2 groups of monkeys. One group of monkey, they taped these 4 fingers down. And what they did, they mechanically moved this monkey's finger 10,000 times. Okay? The neural pathway to do this was done. What they then did was untape the monkey's hands. So do you know what they did? He sat there doing this. Because it happens so much, they've literally developed this neural pathway to do it. It becomes so easily. Right, and this can happen with anything, okay? You tell yourself the bad story constantly. All of a sudden, you're looking out for bad things, negative things all the time, okay? Tell yourself that, like, for example, smokers, I'm trying to quit smoking. Well, tell yourself that you're not a smoker, okay? And form that personality. That means you don't have to work on the behavior. Now, what also helps with this is when we focus on the... Are you following me, guys? I know it's quite a lot of information.
Yeah, I am.
Give me a little shake. Let's keep it awake. Okay. Okay. So, for example, if you want to get fitter, okay, well, we need to exercise. We don't exercise once, we exercise regularly. Okay. We're continuously doing it. You want to get healthier. Well, we don't eat healthy once, we continuously eat healthy. Okay. And what this leads down to is looking at the trajectory of things. Have you ever heard me talk about the good train track and the bad train track? Probably not Carol, you might have Sandra. So I talk about good train track. They both run alongside each other, but one's going in a good direction, one's going in a bad direction. Okay, and let's say drinking, going out, partying, eating the wrong foods, not exercising. This is all on the bad train track and we're going along. It is fine to be on the train track for a little bit, then jump back over to this good side. The issue is when we stay on this bad train track and we're going towards it, okay? So we're looking at the trajectory. If your trajectory, like for example, if you were to look at a plane on the runway and we were to tip the nose of the plane 1 foot off, 1 degree angle off, okay? Do you think that's going to go after traveling 700 miles per hour for 800 miles? Do you think point A, 1 foot off, to point B? It's a tiny 1 foot, but when we do it over a long period of time, you'll see a big change. For example, if we were to get better 1% each day, we will be 37 times better by the end of the year. But if we do 1% less each day, you'll be close to 0 by the end of the year. Look at the difference in trajectories, close to 0, 37 times better. So a lot of people, when it comes to forming these goals, we forget about the 1%. We forget about the things that we need to focus on, these little daily habits, okay? And it's fine, like I said, it's fine to make a decision off track. I'm on the bad train track, sound. Friend's birthday, okay? Someone's party, someone's doing this, okay? Whatever it might be, have that, then get back onto this good train track, because the trajectory of this bad one is going where we don't want to, but the trajectory of this good one is going where we do want to. And what happens here, when we work on these 1%, these little things, we work on the strategies rather than focus on the outcome, the goal, what happens is we start to enjoy the process and learn that actually time is on our side because we're going in the right direction. Okay, now it can have a massive knock-on effect then if we think of the other way around. So like our beliefs and what we dictate as a person are big. Okay, for example, have you ever achieved a goal? Like, I don't know if you guys have done this. I've done it in my business life. I had goals set and I achieved a goal. And what happens all of a sudden, my happiness is like, yeah, I've achieved the goal, but what next?
Yeah.
Something else. someone else, looking at the next goal, looking at the next goal, looking at the next goal. And all of a sudden I'm conditioning myself not to be happy until I've hit the goal. Now that's wrong. I need to condition myself to be happy with the trajectory and the systems that I'm doing each day. Yes, okay, I'm great. I feel happy because my diet is on point, because I know if I keep doing it, I'm going to get to where I want to, but I'm enjoying the process every day, because then when you do get where you want to, you're not just going to be like, sound, I've lost the weight. Okay, I've got the shape I want. Done.
Finished.
For example, on business, okay, a really big one for me. We set up the gym in Bristol. I had literally every intention to pull myself out of the gym to be a full-time dad. We moved down here and I was like, oh, sound. I got the farmhouse that I wanted. I've got the gym running itself. And I wasn't the person that I wanted to be, because I achieved the goal, not achieved the systems that require me to do what I need to each day to maintain the business. Okay, and it started to sort of collapse on that. So same with nutrition. Like, why do some people lose weight and then put it back on?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're doing a diet, they're changing the behavior, but not changing the person. Okay, so what happens? Like, I've had someone lose 10.5 stone in a year. Okay, the second year they were back up to that weight. Because even though after a year, this was one of my first clients, by the way. After a year, we'd just been working on behavior. Then what happened is I moved from being a PT to a gym owner, so we'd stopped PTing. And because he was reliant on myself and we hadn't worked on the psychology to change the behavior, because it's not something that was even present to my knowledge then, that he went straight back to the way he was, even after a year, and put the weight back on.
I agree. I do agree that, yeah.
So it's looking to try and change that behavior, that person, being that person you want. Have you ever heard someone telling a story about themselves?
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, I go to the pub, fisherman, fucking great, right? Okay, fisherman, right? I went fishing the other day, and my fish must have been 200-pound fish. Must have been 200-pound fish. That's a story that I'm telling myself to big up my ego to my friends and stuff like that. Now you have other stories that you tell yourself. Fucking useless. I'm really useless at organization. I have a really poor skill set at DIY. Oh, Dom, yeah, don't get into DIY. He fucking useless. Okay. Oh, actually, sense of direction. No, Dom hasn't got a sense of direction. He's useless. These were things that my family would say about me, and I would agree with it, and they had evidence. But the fact, for the last 20 years, my mum has been saying to me, okay, you have no sense of direction. Don't rely on Don. And like every time I've presented myself to try and get out of somewhere, I'll get us lost. Because I in my head, I believe, and it's only recently I've started thinking about these things, that I believe I'm useless at sense of direction. Same with DIY. Useless at DIY. Dom's been known not to do DIY in a house. He will break it. And because I tell myself he will break it, whenever I put furniture together, I'll break it. It is mad. It's literally like I'm predicting the future. My brain's like, I don't want to upset you, so I'm going to make sure you follow this trajectory. That being said, my mum always said to me, Dom, you'll be able to achieve whatever you want in life. And I'm sitting here doing what I want in life. Now, the main reason she said that to my older brother, who had dyslexia and he struggled at school. My mum also had dyslexia. She understood the challenges that he had to go through. So she always said to him, Greg, you're going to struggle at school. You're not going to be good at reading and writing, because I struggled at school and I wasn't good at reading and writing. Now, you can meet some people with dyslexia, and I have, and they're like, dyslexia, who fucking cares? So what, I can't read and write? It's not going to stop me. But like, you can see how the thought is ingrained from a young age. My brother struggled at school and I never did, because my mum always made the comparisons. Dom, you haven't got dyslexia. You're going to be great at school. Lo and behold, I was great at school. And it's like, but I even talked to my mum about it now. She was like, yeah, to be fair, like, it's called a glass ceiling. Sometimes you put it on yourself. Sometimes other people put it on you. Oh, I can't do that because I'm no good at that. Or I won't be able to do that because, you know, I don't believe I can do that. You know? Are you following me with all this, guys?
That's a proverb, isn't it? To call a dog a bad name.
Yes. Yes. That's it, isn't it? And like, it's amazing when you start looking at these things and these beliefs that come in, and the behavior will follow. But if we have a belief that we're not a smoker, lo and behold, we don't smoke, because my belief is that I am not a smoker. So I will not go and get a cigarette. No matter what the situation, I'm not a smoker. Let's say I'm trying to quit smoking, and then all of a sudden someone in the family dies. That's a good reason to pick up a cigarette, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you are a smoker. If someone in my family dies, I'm not going to go and pick up a fag. I'm not a smoker. I'm not going to go pick up a cigarette. I'm not going to turn to that release of stress. Maybe your stress might be food eating, might be wine, whatever it might be. I am a drinker. I enjoy wine. I love wine. We haven't got alcohol in the house, because when you ask me, Lindsay, oh no, we don't drink. It's not anything against drinking. We're not drinkers. Lo and behold, we don't have alcohol now, so we stop buying alcohol because we're not doing it. And then in the summer comes, and then we have a barbecue, and it's like, oh yeah, do you know what? It'd be nice to have a beer with a barbecue. So all of a sudden, you know, there's situations in our lives, we're not drinkers, but then we have a barbecue, all of a sudden it's a barbecue, it's having a drink. You know, so like for me, I am keto, I am not alcohol anymore. I'm not an alcoholic, but for me, everything else goes downhill when I do start drinking. Okay. I've always ended up in trouble as well. So I try and avoid those triggers in my life. Yeah, it's good. Does that all make sense, guys?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
So like when we're formulating stuff, and like you might jump on the scales one day and you've not lost any weight. But that's not an issue. If your trajectory is going in the right direction, we don't need to worry about these individual stopping points, because if we do, sometimes we jump on the scales and we haven't lost weight and like, I feel down. I feel low about that, because that's really affecting my mood now, because I'm worried about the outcome rather than the strategies that allow me to grow. Does that make sense? Like in jiu-jitsu, when I do jiu-jitsu, like jiu-jitsu is probably, my teacher in jiu-jitsu has probably taught me more about life than I can ever begin to think, like in the last like 6 months, and what I've learned from him. When we talk about like, so an outcome in jiu-jitsu with me putting someone to sleep or getting them to tap and give up, that's an outcome. But what happens if I don't get the outcomes? Does that mean I'm rubbish at jiu-jitsu? Then all of a sudden, if I'm only worried about the outcomes and I'm not getting them, all of a sudden I'm not enjoying it. But for me, the enjoyment comes from learning. So I don't care if I get tapped. I don't care if I tap someone. For me, it's do I learn along the way? Are my systems and strategies the right way? Oh, no, I just got tapped. Okay, don't do that again. Right. Oh, all right. Won't do that again. Okay. Oh, all right. Let go. Right. Tap. Okay, I won't do that again. I'm learning not to do stuff. Okay. When we're working with our diet and we do something wrong.
Yeah.
It's not an issue. We're just learning more about ourselves and more about the system not to do it. Like if you get presented and you find yourself eating a cake, why are you eating a cake? You know, is there something that we can learn from that cake? Is it the food leading up to it? Is there a stimulus? Is there a stress? Is there a trigger? What's our feelings? What's our emotions? What's our beliefs? You speak to Lindsay and say, Lindsay, would you like a cake? I don't eat cakes. Like, but the main reason being, Lindsay's now got to a point where she's so healthy. Like Sandra, we bought those muffins off you. Me and the kids loved them. Lindsay did have one, but Lindsay won't have anything preservatives or like we find like a lot of things can have a massive effect on her. Like even just eating having the, I think you put one preservative, was it, or something in there? Like not that you put it in there, I think it was sweetened, but her stomach swelled up.
Oh.
Because she eats so healthy, like literally she eats so healthy that anything that is manufactured or processed will affect her stomach. Most of us have been lined to do this all the time. So like, if you eat sugar every day, you're not going to feel the effects of sugar. You might feel a bit there. But if you don't have sugar at all, and then you have a little bit of sugar, do you guys have coffee?
Yeah.
Right, imagine someone who never has coffee. Imagine, right, if I brought Rupert in here and give him a coffee, do you think he's going to be like he's going to be like jumping all over the place because he's never had caffeine? So he'd be like bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
Good. So that's what I want to talk today about: habit forming, system looking, but looking for the enjoyment in the fact that we're going on the right trajectory. And if we're not on the right trajectory, right, what can we do to change that, to give us the right trajectory, get on that good train track?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does this sound?
Good.
I think this is a pretty good session today, and I think
Yeah.
people missed out on this one. I think this is a really good session today.
Yeah, this is sinking in.
Lots of examples, but lots of real life examples that you can sort of like, okay, yeah, I do that. Yeah, that's me.
It's quite logical when you think of it, when you have it explained.
Yeah, totally. And like, I don't know if you could think of examples in your life where you say you're not good at something, and lo and behold, you're not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There was a study that said I can't remember the college that it was, and they basically said to this college, they split the class in half, and they said, right, first half of the class, you're going to get marked on one piece. You've just got to enter one piece of art for the whole year, okay? And this is going to be your piece of artwork. We're going to grade your whole grade on this one piece of artwork. Then they said to the other side, we're going to grade you on how many pieces of artwork you can put in the year. So quantity versus quality. Now, this is a bit of a trick question. Which group do you think produced the best piece of art?
Quality.
Yeah, it sounds logical, the quality one, doesn't it?
So that's what I said. Now, what actually happened?
I'm thinking that the more you do, the better you can become.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. And what happened was they learned how to do things wrong hundreds of times to finally create this masterpiece. Now, the people on the other side spent all year hypothesizing what makes a good artwork. What's this? Let's think about how I can do this and how I can hypothesize this. And they put it together and they hypothesized it. So it's all great us talking about this, but actually we need to go out and do. We need to fill the food diaries out. We need to exercise. We need to do whatever we need to do daily, taking action, working on the 1%, because we only improve through action.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
It's remembering, isn't it? Forming that habit, like you said, that you enjoyed your gym session and I enjoy mine and I enjoy the exercise, but then you come to a day and think, oh, can't do it today. But it's remembering how good that feeling was so that you do it again.
That's it. And like on the days that you guys don't feel like exercise, you still exercise.
Yeah.
Because your person is becoming that identity that we now exercise. Does that make sense? Because if you weren't a person that didn't exercise, like Sandra, you've come into sessions with me before and you're like, I've got to come, have to come, I have to.
Yeah.
If I don't come, I know I'm going to suffer the results. So it's no longer a case of do you want to come, is you have to come. It is a must. That is your identity now. And if your identity wasn't to come to the gym, on the days that you feel low, we can't rely on the behavior, we have to rely on the identity.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the behavior can wobble depending on how you feel. I feel low today, I don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
You know, there's a difference. So that's why I try and focus on the systems and the strategies that lead up to building the habit. Because once the habit's built, we're that person and we are just doing it. And we can be happy with the fact that we're on the right trajectory going upwards. And we're focused on that trajectory. Rather than focus on the daily stuff, we're focusing on the trajectory. Right, I am on the right path. I am going in the right direction. Good. Good work. Really good stuff, guys. That was a really, really good one, I think.
Thank you. Not sinking.
What I want you to do, I've obviously got this recorded. I am in the process of putting a website for all these to go on. What I want you to do is chuck into the Facebook group, guys, okay? Because everyone else needs to know that they've missed out. Okay? Just tell me one takeaway that you did. Literally just put a comment, not on the post that I put. Just make your own post and be like, thank you for the compliment, John. My biggest takeaway today was...
Yeah.
Okay? Because one,
then.
think in something then, okay?
Okay then.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I hope everyone has a lovely day and lovely Mother's Sunday.
And you. And Lindsay then.
I'm going to go spoiler now.
Yes, you go and do that now.
Might just drag my heels a little bit. She's looking after the kids, so it's fine. I'm joking. Right, I'll undo that. Was on the recording, that was. Right, stop recording.